All we can say is wow. We ran an NBA playoff special in which the first 99 packages sold were discounted down to $149, and pardon the pun, they sold like hotcakes. Well, NHL fans, do not fret as we are not only matching that offer, but we are actually making it better. Starting Monday, April 25th, the first 99 packages sold using the code PUCK149 will not only get the entire NHL playoffs for only $149, but they will also get the rest of the regular season for free. That means that you can get over 2 months of NHL through the Stanley Cup Finals for under $19 per week. That's paying less than one single play package regularly priced at $25. Do not get shut out as coupon code PUCK149 is good at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo and only will be available for the first 99 packages sold, but you may use this code to purchase more than one NHL playoff package.
All right, guys, welcome in on a very happy Thursday to you now, April the 28th. Yeah, wow. May just around the corner here, guys, but we are ever so slightly getting a little bit closer to an NBA champion. But first, we got to finish these round one games here and a couple more tonight. We'll see if who's going to advance to that second round and who. We'll be in Cancun golfing soon enough. And to help us sort through it all, we've got three of the best. The OGs are in the house. Ski Prophet, Tony Finn, Rob Vino here to help navigate through it all and what is some craziness there. I guess Ski, number one, not a shock. Milwaukee handled their business last night, and they covered double digits. So that was good. Then Golden State got a little taste of what it was like to be back in the playoffs and having to close teams out. Not as easy as it may seem, but they handled business as well. So it's, I guess, the chalk reigns through so far, especially last night, man.
My bad. I wasn't sure if that one was for me, but
no, it's always you, Ski. We always start with you.
Those series both were good for me. You know, before the series, as far as like series bets, I played them both kind of the same way. Bucks to win in 4, Bucks to win in 5. One of them has to win for profit, and they did just that. Warriors, same deal. One of them has to win for profit, and they did just that. So I'm happy with those. And I did lose, though. I don't know why I even did it thinking about it, but I thought the Warriors, the first time, like when they lose, it's usually by margin. It's the first time they covered as a dog. So I lost on that, but I had a 1-in-1 day and look to get it back on track today.
Yep, Denver not covered by them last night. Going into the fourth, they were up by 8, those Denver Nuggets were there, Tony Finn. And Steph's like, all right, enough of this crap. Let's go. They handled business, did get the cover, but have a great offseason there, Denver Nuggets. Tonight, we've got some interesting games as well, and I know you got to have something locked and loaded for us here tonight, Finn. Yeah, everything you touch turns to gold here, man.
Well, I wish that was the case. My wife would be gold. Everything I work around will be gold. Listen, I do. I took a position on both of the Western Conference. Excuse me, one of the Western Conference games tonight, and I have a free pick on the opening game, which is I believe is Philadelphia and Toronto. So I split that Milwaukee, guys. I released that -9.5 that Milwaukee opened up, and I immediately released it to the clients. And I released the total, too, under the impression that LeVert was going to be playing. I think if LeVert plays yesterday, I think they cover, and I think that game does go over. But I end up splitting because no LeVert, no Caruso, no chance. Milwaukee covers easily, but I split. I go I catch the side and lose the total.
I mean, I think you mean Zach LaVine's brother, LeVert? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah,
no, okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah, no, I mean, but yeah, LaVine, LeVert, 6 1/2. It starts with an L. But listen, bottom line is you got plays locked and loaded. Listen, it could have been Din Waddle. We still got to go through that
That's
here
right.
yet. Rob Vino, what is going on, man? Chalky, a little chalky last night, or at least from a series price. But a couple of big games going on here tonight. What do you got, if anything, locked and loaded for us at WagerTalk? All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if that was for me.
Yeah.
Just trying to,
Were you making fun of? Were
trying
you making
to,
fun of
trying
Ski,
to
or was that on purpose?
imitate my good friend Ski. Levert, Joe, if you're our age, Tony Finn should know this. I mean, there was a time when Levert was actually a singer on the Billboard charts.
Yeah.
But
Karras.
last night was a pretty good night. Milwaukee first half was fairly easy. And the under, boy, we were talking about it a little bit off air. I had to sweat that thing out under 217.5. And here comes that final 90 seconds. And all I see is threes getting launched, a little hairy, but 116-100 works. I cracked the code and snuck into the WagerTalk admin back in and copied Tony Finn's plays for today. So I, too, have plays on the Western Conference games.
Nice.
Up and available right now, WagerTalk.com. And we'll see, Joe. We've got some things set up here now, including a Boston-Milwaukee series where, like we were saying, Boston a $2 favorite. Seemed a little steep, but we'll dig into that a little later.
Yep, we got some games here tonight. Everyone seems to love the West, which is why we're going to start with the East here tonight, guys. Game number one up, as this is not the way they wanted it to go. But a Game 6 in Toronto is exactly what the Sixers are getting. 2 was the number there, along with that 210 as an opening number, and a little back and forth there with both of them. But for the most part, it looks like 1.5s and 2s are what it's going to be here. And, man, if Philadelphia could ever man up for one game, this has got to be it here, Ski. But the million-dollar question is, I don't know, anybody seen James Harden, Tyrese Maxey? Anybody heard they were on milk cartons? People still looking for him here. What do we do tonight, Ski, with this? Do we trust the Sixers to close it out?
Yeah, I'm going to just stick with what you said right there. I don't trust the Sixers. You got Doc Rivers. I think he's lost 31 of his last 46 closeout games. He's for sure lost 7 of the last 8. And, I mean, not just him. You got James Harden, who the further the series goes, the more likely he is to start giving up and quitting. So I don't want my money on those two guys. That's just how I feel. I know our good friend Ralph Michaels put out some trends and angles as far as things that, would back Philly tonight. I know teams don't usually come back when they're down 0-3 in the series. But, in Toronto, I think they can get the job done. So fade to Philly mostly for me, and not an official play on the game, though.
Yeah, it's I can tell you this: if it does go back to Philadelphia for a Game 7, I mean, all bets are off here. But man, oh man, you don't finish the job, Tony Finn. We've seen this how many times in the past? You give team life, you give them energy, you give them confidence. That's exactly what Toronto has here. Do you trust Toronto to finish the job tonight at home and extend it to a Game 7?
Well, I guess I trust the lesser of two evils. I trust Toronto more than I trust Philadelphia. And in truth, I trust Toronto in Toronto. And I trust that, I've always thought, I don't know about you guys, but I've always considered and labeled and even verbalized Thibault as he's a liability. I thought he was always a liability in the starting lineup in most situations where Philadelphia had to have that extra score maybe. I don't know that that's the case in a game against a Toronto team that after the first 2 games, guys, I think I remember us talking, saying basically this team was cooked. They were done. They looked horrible. They were doing everything that they were doing was contrary to what we believed that they were going to do. That was outrun this team, score in transition, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll get more into this, Joe, during our best bets, because I have this game as my best bet tonight for the show, or today for the show, and I'll outline what I believe and what I don't believe, and what I believe we will see. Let's put it that way.
All right. We got Rob. What do you think here, though? It's Philadelphia. You have the fortune, I guess maybe it's you're fortunate enough there to be able to hang out with that team there, the Sixers, all year, and all the local news reports and everything else. Oh, James Harden. Oh, that's going to be the year. Trust the process. How you doing, Rob? You trusting the process here tonight to get the job done so they can advance and lose to Miami?
I'm telling you, Joe, every available EMS staff should just go patrol the Ben Franklin Bridge because they will lose their minds if Philadelphia doesn't win this series.
Oh.
And I don't, it's funny, but we're all skeptical of what I know their intentions are good, and I know what they want to do, and I know between their ears what they want to do. The question is, can they actually execute it? And I think Joel Embiid at this point in time is getting a little tired of having to ask James Harden to be more aggressive scoring-wise. It's the second time after the most recent loss, the second time in this series. Prior to this series, he said it. Now they are only ahead 3-2. He says it again. We need James to be more aggressive scoring, and he just hasn't been. Embiid knows, right? We're just beating the dead horse when we go over the fundamentals of this series. But again, Nick Nurse and that defense is devised to be a pest to Joel Embiid. He knows it. He's playing with torn ligaments in his thumb, and he's just down there taking a little bit of a beating from these guys. Interesting that Doc said after last game that they have more length and they're quicker at almost every single position than we are. So I've got to find a way around that. The first two games went so good for them, and then all of a sudden, I think what a lot of us projected might happen actually started to happen. In the last three games, in all honesty, could all have gone to Toronto. I mean, Embiid hits a three-pointer with 0.9 left on the clock in overtime to win that game, kind of a miracle three. So I'll say this. Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey, Joe, you mentioned Maxey. The first two games, they score 107 points combined. Since then, in three games, they've only scored 84. All this exterior help has gone by the wayside for Philadelphia. And I think that was the concern after they made the trade, right? At some point, somebody would have to step up, secondary players, and do the job. And they just haven't been able to do it. Toronto's winning all the stuff that they should have won, statistically, at least speaking. If you're playing on paper, they're winning it now. Points in the paint, they're winning. Fast break points, they're winning. Turnovers, Philly's committing a boatload. Does that stuff iron itself out just because you want it to? I'm not sure. Toronto, Fred VanVleet's absence could be addition by subtraction. He was so hurt, and he was not shooting the ball well at all. And Scotty Barnes in the lineup rather than Fred VanVleet, one comes in, one goes out. Scotty Barnes has been great, a great addition since he came back off the injury. So I kind of like Toronto here. Tony mentioned no Thibault. They could probably use that length at least defensively here. Toronto's a confident team, and if you're going to ask me to trust Nick Nurse or Doc Rivers, I'm going to trust Nick Nurse. Doc looks a little testy with the questions right now, doesn't he? I mean, he got really defensive about his career record. He wants you to go all the way back and check his Orlando roster. I don't know what that's got to do with anything, but I think I'd rather be on Toronto here.
That was a interesting stat. Put that one back up on the screen there. So they're now the 14th team all-time to force a Game 6 after down 3-0. How many now? Only 3 of those 14 ended up, taking it to a Game 7, and none of them eventually went on to win the series. So history not necessarily on the Raptors' side here tonight, but keep an eye on the turnovers, because if it's one thing Toronto likes to do, it's get out and transition, and Philly ain't playing transition defense. And with Embiid's thumb, he's turning the ball over a lot more. Maybe, just maybe, this is going to be a little bit closer than the Sixer fans will like, though. But that's Game 1 here tonight. Will there be a Game 7? We'll find out. And we've also got to figure out if we can get this thing tied up here out in the West. New Orleans, Phoenix. Who's going to get it done here tonight? New Orleans at home going, slow down, Phoenix. Slow your roll. We ain't finished playing yet here. Phoenix opens up 2.5, 214.5, somewhere around that ballpark there for a total And I do think, 215s now is what we're seeing, as well as twos pretty much across the board. So what do we do here? Ski, Phoenix on the road. This has been a great zigzag series. You win one, I win one. You win one, I win one. Who wins tonight here? Do we go to a game 7?
What you should have done, first thing you should have done when you woke up this morning was go to your account at CJ, 10.5 rebounds and assists. He's hit it every single game this series. He's averaging north of 13, and it's mostly because he's getting more usage. He has more minutes, and they're going to need him up there tonight. Yeah. So I like that to continue. As far as the rest of the game, I think the Suns can still get it done, but for some reason, it's just a game that gives me a strange feeling. I was leaning that way early, and I thought about playing him early because I think Devin Booker is going to play, and you see the line already moving to 2.5. It could go up even further. But if I was going to make another play besides CJ here, I think I would prefer the over. I'm pretty sure it's hit every single game except for the last one, and I can see it getting back to high-scoring affairs.
Do they even do you play even Booker? Do you? I mean, if you can't beat New Orleans and close this out, man, I don't know what to tell you here, Phoenix. Tony Finn, what do you think here? New Orleans not going to lay down at home. They could be dancing in the streets of New Orleans here tonight, waiting for a game 7, or does that not happen here tonight?
Well, in my opinion, what you saw in Game 5, or what you saw last game, was a bench that really had produced the entire season. If you go back to the time period when Booker was out, or even Chris Paul, when they missed that extended period of time for the Suns, there was a transition period, at least the first couple games, for the bench roles to kind of convert. They had to morph into a different role, whether it be Johnson in the starting lineup or Crowder having to play a little differently defensively. But I think what you saw last game was a McGee who had scored about a total of 20 plus points, 23 points or something, and done very little to a guy who scored 28 points, 15 and 19. Was it 28 points, 15 and 19 shooting over the last 3 games, whatever it is. He's contributed. You saw a contribution from Bridges, who is the key, in my opinion. He's the key in this game. He's the key in the series as long as Booker's not there because of what he does, both defensively and offensively. This is a guy that can really defend. He's an underrated defender, and what he's able to do offensively is really spread the floor against a New Orleans team that doesn't want to be spread. They don't want to be spread. If they had their druthers, they would again build that wall, in the lane, in the paint, guys. But I think the Suns close this out. I think you're going to see the starters. You're going to see McGee. I think you're going to see Bridges. All these guys that are, if you look at the metrics and you see what they do with their offensive rating and a plus 20, plus 30 with Johnson and Crowder and Ayton and that group, that first 5 that they use right now, can be really good offensively. They're not the best defensively, but they can be really good offensively. And I think you're going to see 38, 40 minutes from these guys, and they're going to close it out. That gives Booker some extra time. It gives all these guys going to play extra minutes some extra time. And I don't understand this because what you saw last time, and I know it was in Phoenix, what you saw between these two teams, I believe is what you're going to see tonight, guys. If you can tell me it's going to be different, tell me how.
Well, the question is, are we going to get a Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum, 14 of 40? That's the question, Rob. Is they're going to be home? They didn't shoot it great. Certainly McCollum didn't shoot it great there. Not a lot of great threes, and Phoenix got huge support from its bench here. So much like Denver last night where they needed the help again from the bench. If Booker's not playing, they're going to need some big performances from some of these secondary guys here. You trust them to get it done on the road?
Well, I mean, to Tony's point, what's going to change for Phoenix offensively if 5 games in a 7-game series is a big enough sample size? 71% of the games have been played already. Phoenix has shot 50% or better in every single game. New Orleans hasn't held them to under 50% in the game. And, you know, Phoenix is so unique in the way they score, guys. And they've scored 110 or better in every game but one. And they really don't do it with the three-point line. I mean, in this series, 342 points, 62% of them have come from two-point range. It's not the free throw line. You know, New Orleans is the team getting to the free throw line. New Orleans getting there 31 times a game as opposed to 20 for the other side, right? So Phoenix, just as far as modern day NBA goes, they're a little bit different, but they're really, really good at what they do. To your milk carton advisory, Joe, three-point shooting, Jay Crowder, he's the face of the milk carton right now. 2 of 22 in 5 games from 3, and they need it out of Jay Crowder. I mean, usually you can depend on him to have a couple of games where he hits threes. If this is one for Phoenix, then you don't have to get 4 or 4 out of Bridges. Nobody else really shot well from 3 on that team, on Phoenix's side in that game 5. So if I put all this together, I'm looking more at the total than I am the side. Although I'll say this, as shaky as I think Philadelphia is in a closeout situation on the road, Phoenix knows how to close things out on the road. You got way more faith in Phoenix to do the job on the road than you do in Philadelphia, because Philadelphia is walking on eggshells right now, and Phoenix extremely confident. 40 minutes for Chris Paul to get chased around, and 18 of them by Alvarado. He's going to be winded. Right. I think Phoenix gets their points. They've shown me every game they're going to shoot 50. They're going to get to 110. And I think, as you mentioned, Joe, that New Orleans comes back and shoots better and gets theirs. The total is still in a reasonable place, 214. They've gone over most of these. I think they'll go over again. The one thing that slowed me down a little bit, and I actually texted Ski earlier to see if he knew anything more, Ingram got hurt at the end of that game. And you saw him throw the water bottle on the floor. He's a little pissed off. And I didn't know if that was going to affect his shooting tonight. If his shooting is not affected, I don't see any reason why we don't play over 214 here. I understand Game 6 is tighten up. It's a closeout game. They tighten up. But these two teams have played almost the same game every time, and I'm on Tony's wavelength where show me what's going to change. I just don't think anything will. I'll take over 214.
Yeah, well, it's if they keep turning the ball over, New Orleans, like they did to Phoenix and gave them, an extra 28 points there on turnovers, that's going to be it's going to be end. You can stick a fork in New Orleans. So they are certainly going to need to protect the ball here. I'm sensing a theme coming around here. So Rob leaning towards the over, Phoenix and New Orleans. Well, there or won't there be a Game 7? And then, of course, there's one final game here tonight in the West. All right, we all agree Dallas is going to win. So let's move on. No, I'm kidding. Let's sug at it here. We've got the Utah Jazz. Boy, this number's been all over the place, hasn't it? We had it opened up with Dallas as a slight favorite, then it went to a pick-em, then Utah. Now we've got 210. It was 209. Now it's up to 210, 210 and a half. The market is all over the place on this. The public loves them some Dallas. But for some damn reason, somebody keeps betting Utah. I don't know why, Ski. Everybody, it's amazing to me what the market has done and how they have treated Utah in this series, as if our eyes are lying to us, that somehow or another they're going to be back to this prolific three-point shooting team, and they're going to blow the doors off at Dallas and send it to a Game 7. You betting it?
Absolutely not betting the Jazz. I mean, I think everybody who's followed me for the past month or so knows that. I can't believe they still even laying points here.
It's crazy.
I know it's just 1.5, but it's got to be Dallas for me. They've been a clear-cut better team. Their defense is legit, and I just don't think, like I said, Utah doesn't even like each other. So similar to what Rob and Tony said, what's going to change in this game? I would be picking Dallas or stay away. As far as, I like a player prop. I like, and I'm blanking out, Dwight Powell over 4.5 rebounds. He's hit that 12 of the last 16 games, and he's going to get more minutes whenever Luka's on the floor because he plays good when he's out there, and he's absolutely terrible when he's not. So the last game he missed it. Like, he got to 5, and they did a stat correction and took it away. But I think he gets back on track tonight. And also, it was a blowout, so he didn't play as many minutes. But I think he gets 5 tonight.
All right, thinking he's going to get at least 5 here. So we basically have a closeout situation for a road team here, which is, it's been all right. Hasn't been over time there, Tony Finn. I think it's around 53% over the last decade or so. But the favorites have been pretty good in this spot here in a Game 6. So what do you think here? You leaning with the now favorite Utah Jazz, or you like the dog in this one, Finn?
Well, I mean, Utah's, I think, to Ski's points he made in this game, I think they're spot on. I mean, it's difficult. Metrically, let's just talk about this series, okay? And this includes a Rusty Doncic when he comes back, right? In Game 3. Is it Game 3? He came back, right? And misses the first 2. If you're going to go strictly by the metrics and the net ratings for these two teams, and let's give Utah, let's give them 4 points for home court advantage, okay? We'll give them twice what they probably should get. They're still a 12-point underdog. Utah's a 12-point underdog metrically. Again, what's going to change from what has? Listen, there's times when you make adjustments. There's times when bookmakers make adjustments and they don't go by the net or by the metrics or by the math, because they know the same things we know. They know what the public's going to do. They've seen the games just like we've seen them, and Dallas has ruled. Save this series could have been over in 4 the way Utah's played without Doncic. Truthfully, in my opinion, and I think it's over tonight. I think Dallas wins this game, and I don't think any of us, if you're on Dallas, I don't think there's going to be a point in this game where you don't believe you're not going to win. That's what I think.
I don't get it, Rob. We've talked about it all series long here. Who in their right mind keeps betting Utah to keep them in a situation where they're actually laying a number down? It ain't the public. We know the public likes Doncic in Dallas here. A lot of tickets, a lot of money on Dallas. But, man, there's some influential people betting Utah here. I don't get it. Do you?
Yeah, don't have me and Ski on the same show if we're going to get into a square sharp conversation, because we might hijack this whole show. No, I mean, after, like I say, maybe 5 games in the grand scheme of things in an 82-game season is a small sample size, but in a playoff series, it's a pretty large sample size. And to Tony's point, if you go back and look at the 2-minute report, the final 2-minute report of the game Utah won 100-99, the referees made 3 mistakes all against Dallas. And Rudy Gobert, hostile act, should have been chucked. Donovan Mitchell should have been a charge rather than an and one. And Dallas was ahead 99-95 at that point in time. So they honestly could be on to the next round by now. All that aside, they came back and absolutely dismantled Utah by 35 points last game. Utah has not shot the 3 well for the series. I have Utah at 40 for 144, only 27.8% from 3. And not only is the 27.8% a little startling for Utah guys, but the fact that Dallas has shot 64 more threes than Utah has. Utah usually leads the league in 3-point attempts. That's what they're good at, right? But it hasn't been the case here. Dallas has run them off the line. They've taken so many things away from them. And again, we've gotten into the psyche of teams in these, or at least tried to get into the psyche of teams in the 2 games we analyzed prior to this. Utah, to me, just looks like a club that doesn't care to be here tonight. Let's just end this thing. They don't look like they have the motivation and fight that they've had in years past. We've talked about maybe potential reasons why for a long time, but they just don't go over that roster, guys. And it's just no Joe Ingles. This is just not the same team. Yeah. When you look at their bench, I mean, you're coming off with House and Hernan Gomez. It's just not the same. So to me, Dallas has the better defenders. Dorian Finney-Smith has been tremendous. He always takes the other side's best guy. Donovan Mitchell actually complimented him on how well he played him last game. Mitchell's hurt here. I don't know. I mean, the 4 of us could go on with reasons why to bet Dallas. So why would you want to not bet Dallas? I'm going to bet Dallas.
I mean, they went from averaging 41 3 attempts in a game in the regular season, and they are now down to 28. And they're not making any of them. And I don't know. I mean, Tony Finn nailed it.
Yeah.
What the hell is going to change that we haven't already seen here? And now with Doncic on the court, they've even slowed it down even more. They're more efficient scoring. I don't get it here, guys. I don't know what the Utah team total is, but my ass is going under it. Whatever it is, give me under what that team total is. Anything over 100 is like free money, Ski. Damn. All right, so we got 3 tonight. It's like the Bulls' first half total, 49.5 last night. Wasn't even in jeopardy. Ridiculous. That team's terrible, too. All right, let's go. We got 3 games to choose from. A lot of different ways to break it down. Ski, how you doing it, man? Give us one of those best bets you're rolling with here tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to need the whole entire minute. It's just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Amen.
You wake up, like I said, and you should bet C.J. McCollum over 10.5 rebounds and assists. He's going to play 40-plus minutes tonight. He's hit it every single game, and he's averaging 13-plus in the series. So C.J. McCollum over 10.5 rebounds plus assists. Take it to the window.
Boom! Ain't broke, don't fix it. And by the way, I forgot to ask there. Did Phoenix win the second quarter in that last game?
I can't
won
remember.
by
I've had
1
like
point.
2 hours of sleep,
Yeah, I
Joe.
think
It's 2 hours of sleep, Joe.
No, it was 2 days ago. Ski, get your ass out of here. I don't want to hear it. You're on the damn show telling us how they haven't lost. They're undefeated in the second quarter. They did end up winning the second quarter, didn't they?
It pushed, I think. They only won by 1, and they were laying 1.
Oh, they were laying 1. Okay,
Well,
all right.
It was 27-26. 27-26 was the score, yeah.
That's a win in my game. It wasn't a win, no. They didn't cover. Robert saying, hell no, it was more than a point. All right, go ahead, Tony Finn. You got it, 60 seconds. Are you taking Phoenix second quarter?
No, listen. Let's not. And I don't need the whole minute either. I'm just going to go right to the. Other than Dallas, save Dallas, and what we talked and how we talked about them, and how Robert mentioned that 5 games in the playoffs is the equivalent of 20 games in a regular season because of the intensity and because of the way teams are going to do what they do best. There's also small segments in series where the things change, and it's changed when Philadelphia and Toronto. In the last 3 contests, Toronto has held Philadelphia to 102.4 points per 100 possessions. The metrics are stupid good. Through the first 2 games, the 76ers added almost 12 points per 100 possessions through transition, which is what Toronto does, what Toronto wants to do. It's changed completely. Guess what? Tonight in Toronto, without a Van Fickle, take Toronto plus the points are on the money line.
Wow. All right. Right to the points here. Rob Vino, Phoenix, second quarter. What can we offer you here? 60 seconds, man. What do you got?
Yeah, I think that was a Tony Mejia special.
Yeah, it was.
Second quarter. So pinning that one on Ski. I got to come and defend him a little bit here. Although it was a big topic of discussion in the green room down that day. Listen, nobody took it, so I'll just – why wouldn't you play Dallas? You'd have to give me reasons not to play Dallas here. You got a pick-em game, a team that's motivated. Jason Kidd has done a great job coaching. I think Tony's pointed out Quinn Snyder looks a little bit like he's checked out on this series. The whole team looks checked out on this series, so I don't want any part of them. There is nobody on that side that can guard Luka. There's not many that can, but he's just having his way. And we found out last game that in his second game back, once again, Luka and Jalen Brunson can coexist. I think Jalen Brunson's PRA, if you added up last game, went over 30. I think got to 34 or 35. So I'm going to play Dallas. Keep it simple. Dallas, pick them over Utah.
Boom! 105.5 is that Utah team total. Hell no.
Yes, it is.
Ain't getting
I saw
anywhere
106.
even. Oh, hell no, they ain't getting there, damn it. All right, look at this.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Play the drums to this.
Here we go. It is time for a playoff John Ryan angle of the day. And let's see what John's got here for us. He says, we want to bet on a home underdog, including anyone at a pick'em price in the playoffs, and if the total is greater than or equal to 210, Utah, and if the host is coming off a double-digit loss against that current series opponent, and the following 2 straight games where the team scored no more than 105 points in each, 25-16-1 against the number. That is 61%. John Ryan says that the Utah Jazz that defeat the Dallas Mavericks. All right. That's right. Want to thank John Ryan very much there, a good friend over at sportsmemo.com. At least now I know why the money is coming in on Utah. Makes all the sense in the world now. I feel so much better about that. John Ryan. Here we go. Today's recap. Ski Profit says, I don't need 60 seconds. McCollum over 10.5 rebounds and assists. Cash the damn ticket. As a matter of fact, as soon as you play it, I understand the books just pay it right out because they know it's coming. Tony Finn's taking the Raptors on the money line here tonight. He likes them at a little plus price there at plus 110, while Rob Vino says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why? Rob wants you to talk him out of betting the Mavericks, and not one of us can. Mavericks, pick them. Get it done tonight against Utah and advance. Boy, oh boy. We still got more NBA basketball coming up here, guys. We're just getting started. Don't forget, Golden State's waiting to see who they play. Milwaukee knows they're hitting the Boston. That game's coming up. And don't forget, of course, Minnesota-Memphis still tomorrow. So best bets are locked and loaded, guys, for all of them over at WagerTalk.com. MLB, NBA. Head over there. Get those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages. And don't worry about it. You'll never miss a beat with them, guys. Head over there. Visit Ski, visit Tony Finn, visit Rob Vino, grab those best bets, and let's make it a very profitable Thursday here in the NBA. As hopefully there'll be a game 7 or 2 so we can, with fingers crossed, the Pelicans win tonight, we can hop on Phoenix at a much better price. I'm just saying, because I'm a glutton like that. Guys, do not forget, we'll be back again tomorrow. We got to talk Memphis, Minnesota, and then, of course, start piecing together the next round and who might be playing who, or get ready for game 7s, one or the other. But until then, on behalf of Ski Profit, Tony Finn, Rob Vino, guys, best of luck with your plays tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck. Now I know why people were mentioning.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.